War changes everything: the land, the people, the men and women who fight it. Today, we're going to share real, unfiltered accounts from soldiers who served in Iraq. These are stories that are raw, terrifying, and truly unforgettable. This is the silent conflict that so many carry with them long after the fighting stops. Many soldiers deployed to Iraq thinking they were ready. They were trained, disciplined, and focused. But as they would soon find out, nothing can fully prepare you for the sheer chaos of real combat. The world they entered was one of constant tension, a place where the lines between safety and danger were erased in an instant. Road ambushes, improvised explosive devices, and the ever-present threat of hidden enemies lurking among civilians became their daily reality. One soldier recounted a routine convoy that turned deadly in a matter of seconds. It started with a deafening explosion, a flash of light that tore through the desert air. Suddenly, there was just twisted metal, smoke, and the sounds of confusion and pain. He described the gut-wrenching feeling of seeing friends he'd shared breakfast with just hours before gone. That day, he said, he lost more than just his friends. He lost a part of himself, an innocence that can never be reclaimed. Imagine driving down a seemingly empty desert road, your eyes scanning every rock, every shadow, every person on the roadside. The tension is a physical weight. Your heart pounds with every unfamiliar vehicle, every sudden movement. This was the constant state of being for so many. Night patrols, under the eerie green glow of night vision goggles, felt like walking through a ghost world where any corner could hide an ambush. The adrenaline would spike, then recede, leaving a residue of exhaustion and fear that never quite went away. Another soldier spoke about the psychological toll of IED. He said it wasn't just the fear of the explosion itself, but the waiting, the dread. Driving over a piece of debris on the road could send a jolt of panic through your entire body. It was a war of nerves, a constant battle against an invisible enemy that could strike at any moment. From Anwar, this was the reality of their first deployment, a brutal introduction to a world where survival was measured moment by moment. But the devastation of war doesn't just touch soldiers. Innocent people, families who have known no other home, are caught in the crossfire. One of the most haunting experiences for many soldiers was witnessing the impact on the civilian population. They saw entire neighborhoods reduced to rubble, buildings that were once homes, schools, and markets now just skeletons of concrete and steel. They saw families forced to flee with nothing but the clothes on their backs, their faces etched with a mixture of fear and despair. Children, caught in a world of chaos they couldn't possibly understand, would stare with wide, empty eyes. A veteran shared that for him, the worst part wasn't the sound of gunfire or explosions. It was the silence that came afterward, the thick, heavy silence when the dust settled, and all that remained was a profound emptiness. An empty street, an abandoned toy in the rubble, a single shoe. These were the images that burned into their memories, stark reminders of the human cost that extends far beyond the battlefield. The silent suffering of the innocent was a burden that many soldiers carried, a quiet sorrow that echoed long after they returned home. Among soldiers, the bonds that are formed are forged in fire and fear. They become more than a team. They become a family. They rely on each other for survival, for sanity, for a moment of normalcy in an insane world. Losing a comrade, a brother or sister in arms, is a wound that never fully heals. It's a loss that cuts deeper than any physical injury. One veteran we spoke with lost 5 of his closest comrades in a single, catastrophic IED attack. He described the moment with a chilling stillness, as if reliving it tore the air from his lungs. He said, "You never forget their faces, their laughter, the last conversation you had. You carry them with you, always." When these soldiers finally returned home, the war didn't end. It just changed battlefields. They came back to a world that seemed to move on without them, a world they no longer felt a part of. This sense of disconnection wasn't from the world itself, but from their own selves. The person who left for war was not the same one who returned. War leaves scars that are invisible to the naked eye. We're talking about post-traumatic stress disorder, crippling nightmares that pull you back into the chaos night after night, and the state of hypervigilance where every loud noise, every crowded space feels like a threat. Then there's the survivor's guilt, the crushing, unanswerable question. Why them and not me? These invisible wounds are often the heaviest to carry, isolating them in a silent battle that most people around them can't see or understand. The journey to healing from these invisible wounds is long, difficult, and often lonely. It's not a straight path. It's filled with setbacks and struggles, therapy, support groups, and most importantly, understanding from loved ones are absolutely essential. Many veterans spoke about the profound loneliness they felt, even when surrounded by family and friends. They described the nightmares as being so vivid, so real, that waking up was a disorienting shock. Simple, everyday things became triggers the backfire of a car, a news report. Even a particular smell could transport them back to the dust and danger of Iraq. For many, the first and most crucial step toward survival was simply talking about it. Sharing their stories, voicing the experiences they had locked away, became a lifeline. It didn't erase the memories or the pain, but it began to loosen their grip. It was in sharing their silent conflict that they found that they were not alone in their struggle. It was the beginning of finding a way to live with the ghosts of war instead of being consumed by them. These stories aren't shared for glory. There is no glory in the trauma and loss we've discussed. They are shared for the sake of truth. The truth of what survival really costs. The truth of the deep, lasting trauma that follows soldiers home. And the truth of a different kind of courage it takes to face the memories, to ask for help, and to fight another battle. This time for one's own mind and soul. This is the courage beyond the battlefield. If you know a veteran, whether it's a family member, a friend, a neighbor, or a coworker, please reach out. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be willing to listen. Sometimes, a single conversation, a simple act of showing you care, can change everything. It can be a powerful reminder that their service and their sacrifice are not forgotten, because no one should have to walk alone after coming home from war. Remember them, support them, and listen to their stories. Thank you for watching and for taking the time to listen to these important accounts. If this story touched you, please hit the like button, share it with others, and subscribe for more true stories that deserve to be heard. Behind every uniform is a human being with a story, and every story matters. Thanks for being here. Thank you for watching Silent Conflict. If this story touched you, hit like, share, and subscribe for more true stories from the front lines. Behind every uniform is a story, and every story deserves to be heard.